My favorite colors are black and red. I like them both equally. I like black because it represents the darkness within, and I like red because it is the color of blood. Before we get started, let me tell you an interesting story. So recently, HBO put out a new show called It Welcome to Derry, which is a prequel to the movies It and It Chapter 2. I started watching it recently, saw the second episode. In the second episode, there is a scene, so Pennywise the Clown is a shapeshifter and can take on many forms. There is a scene where one of the children that he is antagonizing, she basically is birthed from her deceased mother because her mother died giving birth to her. So once the child is out of the womb, well, it's not a baby anymore, she's like a young child. Once she is out of the womb, the mother's corpse comes to life and pulls her back by the umbilical cord towards her stomach, full of teeth, razor-sharp teeth. The kid has to bite through the umbilical cord to break free. And as this is all happening, mind you, the mother is taunting her, saying, you killed me because, she died giving birth and whatnot. When the daughter breaks free, the mother stands up and runs at her. It's actually a pretty scary scene. But this is the key takeaway. The reason why this character had this existential nightmare is because her mother died during child labor. And you want to know what the crazy coincidence is? My mother died in the exact same way. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Adonis podcast. This week, I went to Bullwinkle's with a friend of mine who's also a local Tallahassee celebrity, Ace Prodigy. He does music and marketing. He's knowledgeable in a variety of different industries. We are the dynamic duo of Tallahassee. Polar opposites, yet we get along so well. People are often surprised that him and I are friends because, our personalities, like I said, are opposite. Now, something that I admire about Prodigy is his ability to keep his cool in heated situations. He's the last person in the room to get upset at you. And he's really good at just talking things out, handling things professionally. But at the same time, just because he's a nice guy, don't mistake him for a pushover. He doesn't let you push him around either. And then as you all know, I'm the polar opposite. I get angrier much quicker, and I usually approach situations with a more extreme level of aggression. We're kind of I view it like Batman and Superman. If you watch DC, you should know that despite being polar opposites, Batman and Superman are best friends. Superman is the nice guy. He's the symbol of hope. And he usually takes it easy on people. Surprisingly, Batman should be the weaker character because he's the one with no superpowers. He's just an orphan in a batsuit. But Batman is brutal, no mercy. He'll put you in a coma for jaywalking. But the light and the dark complement each other so well, and they get along so great, and they both have their own strengths. There's other duos as well, like, say, Red Hood and Nightwing, or Sonic and Shadow. I'm sure you guys can think of other TV characters where they are best friends, but polar opposites, yet the polar opposites, you know how the saying goes, opposites attract. Bullwinkle's. Me and Prodigy walk in there, and I kid you not, we are the most famous people in the room. We got people turning their heads, people are stopping us, asking for pictures. And there were some people that were fans of him, and there were some people that were fans of me, and then we had people that were fans of both of us. But all night long, we were just talking about people where We didn't know them, but they knew who we were. They were like, yeah, we see your reels on Instagram. There was this one guy actually that came up to us. This is so funny because he came up to me first. Well, he knew who both of us were, but he looked at me kind of differently. And he's like, I know all about you. And I said, who are you? He goes, don't worry about it. So I'm thinking, like, did FSU's police send a fucking undercover cop after me or something? So I kind of just dug a bit deeper. Turns out he's in Theta Chi. So he was kind of wary at first because, I famously shit on Theta Chi all the time. This is not the first Theta Chi that I run into that assumed we would have a problem, but we didn't. Last time I had a positive interaction with the Theta Chi was actually when I was still living at Nova. He approached me and he was like, I'm a fan of your work. And he's like, but I'm in Theta Chi. So I'm like, dude, that's no problem. Like, I'm not gonna automatically hate you because you're associated with an organization or a person. That's why I don't like the idea of fraternities and sororities. Because once you're in a fraternity, you then become associated with this group, and everything that you do represents them, and everything that they do represents you. Because you are now no longer individual people, you are now, it's almost as if you're one giant person. So it's no longer Adrian, it's an asshole, it's now, Theta Chi's an asshole. And for example, what has happened with me is most of the Theta guys have been douchebags. So now people like myself are online making fun of them and speaking in general like, yeah, Theta Chi's, they're douchebags, they're fucking chihuahuas, whatever. What about the people who are in Theta Chi, who are not douchebags, who are not fucking retards, who are actually good people? Because the guy that I met at Bullwinkle's the other day, I will say, he seemed like a very intelligible individual. He was dressed to impress. He used proper grammar. I could tell that he was a little drunk. I mean, we all were. Who isn't going to get drunk on an all-you-can-drink night? But this is something that I'd like to point out. You can tell a lot about a person based on how they act when they're drunk. Because when we're drunk, the filters in our brain stop working, and that's why people start acting different. It's not that they're acting different, they're doing what they want to do that they're afraid to do when sober. It's harder to hide your true intentions, it's harder to lie, and it's just harder to mask your true personality when you are drunk. So I look at this guy, I'm like, okay, this guy is dressed, he speaks properly, he doesn't slur his words, he doesn't talk in ghetto terms, he doesn't talk like a retard, he's not creeping around on girls across the bar, he's actually very well put together, and despite the fact that he's drunk, listen, most people probably couldn't even tell that he was drunk. I could tell that he was drunk because I'm good at reading people. But even though he's young, and he even told me after we exchanged info, he's like, I might forget because I'm drunk right now. So he's like, just text me in the morning. So I look at this guy, I'm like, this guy is really well put together. I would have never guessed that he was in Theta Chi because most of the Theta Chis are fucking slobs. But had he not told me that he was in Theta Chi, I would have never guessed that he was in Theta Chi. To be honest, this guy was so well put together that I thought he was an undercover cop. Like, I legitimately thought for a second he was an undercover cop. Because I've dealt with undercover cops before, and they are stupid. So far, I've blown every single one of their covers. But those are stories for a separate podcast episode. Something that's always a giveaway when it comes to undercover cops is, see, as police officers, they are trained to act in a certain way as professionals. And then when they become undercover cops, it's almost as if they are making it obvious that they're pretending to be something that they're not. They're usually very well dressed. They try to use modern day slang terms out of context. It's clear that they don't know what it means. Picture your grandpa trying to fit in with the younger crowd and using modern day slang terms, but he uses it so out of context that everyone kind of just looks at him like a weirdo. Now, picture that, but imagine it being like a 24-year-old guy who's pretending to be a 21-year-old, and he's in a bar in a proper polo shirt and looks like he just walked out of a business meeting in a bar full of drunk college students that are dressed like slobs and whores. But especially when I asked who he was and he's like, don't worry about it. My next thought, I legitimately said to myself, okay, who the fuck sent you? So we were talking for a minute, and he was talking to both of us, and basically he was telling us what he liked, because Prodigy and I do very different things. I do podcasting, he does music. And he was talking to both of us about our work. And he was not only pointing out what he did like, but he was also critiquing it and telling us what we didn't like and what he thought we should improve on. As far as me, he told me that he genuinely likes what I do and he finds it hilarious. His one major complaint was my racist jokes. He said that I should poke fun at people for things that they do that they can change. For example, girls acting like clowns, the Theta Chi's being gay, things that you can actually do something about. Making fun of someone for their skin or their ethnicity or whatnot, there's nothing that they can change about it. And he basically told me to take or leave that advice. Now, we all know, obviously, I'm not actually racist. I just joke a lot about a lot of different sensitive topics. I wouldn't say that I necessarily agree with him, but I do see his point. I will admit that he does make a very valid point. However, am I gonna stop making racist jokes? No. Listen, it's funny. It's funny when I do it. It's funny when other people do it. Now, see, this is what I don't understand is my haters will fucking hate on me for saying offensive shit. But then they'll go give Kevin Hart or some comedian their money to hear him say the same shit as me or worse shit. And they'll be talking about some joke Gabriel Iglesias made. Like, I don't know, let's say Iglesias is making fun of the Mexicans. And they're like, oh my god, that is so funny. I'm like, bitch, I said the same thing he did. I could have told you that for free. I do like how he was able to speak in a way where he was like, hey, this is what I do like, and this is what I don't like, and this is why. See, a lot of people, they either talk about only the good things, or they're just flat out like, I hate your podcast, and I hate you, and you're a horrible person, and I want everyone else to side with me, so I'm gonna go ahead and start spreading lies in your name because I'm so weak, I can't just mind my own business. I need to go find someone else to do that. I need to, like, see, this is the thing. I've become so powerful that these cunts have to team up to stand against me. And then they still fucking lose. So my one question for the Theta Chi that came up to me is, why the fuck are you in Theta Chi? Because, bro, he's way too good for them, alright? Like, he's not like all these other fucks. In a city full of retards and cuntbags and douches, the ones who aren't really do stand out. And you know, guilty by association? Well, that's essentially what you're doing when you become associated with these fraternities and sororities. So let me put it into perspective for you. I'm not the only one who clowns Theta Chi. Everyone clowns Theta Chi. They've been kicked off of campus multiple times. The girls talk shit about them even though they then go to their houses, like the fucking hypocrites they are. To summarize it, the Theta Chi's are basically chihuahuas, and I refer to them as chihuahuas because they're very rowdy and loud, but harmless. They think they're the shit. They think they're these giant pit bulls. They think they run the city, but they ain't shit. And I've seen them do things that are just morally wrong. Like last year, during a fountain party, a Theta Chi who turned 21 kicked a girl off of the fountain. The way that they treat women also is, I would say, borderline rapey. Like, they go up to girls who are not interested in them, and she makes it clear she's not interested in them, and then they try to force their way in. And especially when you touch a woman who does not want to be touched, that is sexual assault. I don't think people realize how many fucking felons go to school here. For starters, most people, when they come here, the first thing they do is get a fake ID and start drinking at the 18 and up bars. Now, underage drinking is one thing. Possession of altered or falsified government documents is quite literally a felony. So to everyone who's listening to this, if you have a fake ID, you are a felon. If you had a fake ID in the past, you are also a felon. I can confidently tell you that I don't have a fake ID, never have. Never used a fake ID ever in my life. So I don't need to worry about that. But the rest of you, yeah, good luck. Kicking a girl off a fountain, yeah, that's assault. Let's see, touching girls without permission, especially if they've made it clear that they want nothing to do with you, that's sexual assault. Rumors of rape cases in fraternity parties, not just in Tallahassee, but throughout the country, because studies have shown that a lot of rape happens at fraternity parties. I'd like to point out that this guy does not act like the other Theta Chi's. He acts rather properly. He acts like a proper individual. But if people associate him with Theta Chi, they're going to picture the rowdy, rapey chihuahuas. They are not going to picture a proper, distinguished gentleman like the guy that I met at the bar the other night. Okay, I can see past the stereotypes. I can see past your association with said group. But not everyone thinks like I do. Not everyone has the ability to read people like I do. You are who you hang out with. If you hang out with businessmen, you're gonna become a businessman. If you hang out with idiots, you're gonna become an idiot. And if you're the smartest person in your friend group, you need to find a new fucking friend group. So I look at this guy and I'm like, okay, so let's forget that he's in Theta Chi for a minute. This guy's not acting rowdy. This guy's not creeping on girls. This guy's polite, but he's also honest, which is something that I can respect. Bluntly sharing his opinions, he's not being rude about it, but he's telling me like, hey man, you need to cut out the racism shit. I'm not a fan of it. And he also told me, this is just my advice. You can take it or leave it. You can do what you want to do. So I'm talking to this guy, and I'm genuinely enjoying our conversation because he's not a fucking faggot. If I had a disability, I don't have any disabilities, but if I did have a disability, I would tell you that my disability is I have a low tolerance for fucking faggots. I can't stand dumb people. I can't stand idiots. I get mad at my own friends when they act like idiots. Like, there is something about people who are dumbasses that it makes me fucking infuriated. Years ago, I used to work at a restaurant, and an old man came in, and he asked me what kind of meat came on a turkey sandwich. I wanted to cave in his fucking skull. Obviously, I didn't do that. I remained professional, and I told him the turkey sandwich comes with turkey, with a fake smile on my face. And then I went to the break room and raged out. Why is everyone so stupid these days? And no, it's not a Gen Z problem, it's an everyone problem, because everyone likes to pinpoint it on Gen Z. Oh, these Gen Zers, kids these days. It's not just fucking kids. Yeah, there's a lot of people in their 20s that are really fucking dumb. But it's also their kids, it's also fucking middle-aged people, old cunts, fucking everyone's stupid. And I know that there have always been stupid people for as long as we've been alive. But I swear to you, 10 years ago, people were not this fucking dumb. as far as the Theta Chi at Bulls the other night, I did invite him to come on the podcast so we can have a debate about what he was saying about racism and other things. I'm still waiting to hear back from him. And my final note on Theta Chi is, I will say they do know how to take a joke. Because this right here was my most recent video that went viral. The Theta Chi's are gay. I just drove past their fraternity house not too long ago. They're all standing outside in their yard with their shirts off, not a single bitch in sight. It's a hot summer day, people are probably at the pool, plenty of hot babes in bikinis, I'm sure, at the pool or at the beach, depending on what city you're in. These guys decide to hang out in the yard shirtless by themselves. I'm sorry, what is the point of living at FSU if you're not gonna have your cock in a sorority girl 24/7? What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Y'all are fucking gay! I remember a couple years ago, actually, it was after the club, I was walking past their fraternity house, stopped to talk to one of them. I don't remember his name, but I remember distinctly he was sitting in the yard with his bitch. He left for a minute to get something inside. As soon as he walked away, the blonde girl looked at me and she said, I don't actually like him, but I don't know how to get rid of him. Let's get out of here before he comes back. Yeah, I stole your bitch, thunder cunt. Because y'all are so gay, even the sorority girls don't know how to say no to you. They just stick around for the free alcohol. And because they're too nice to put their foot down. I'm not nice. I'll fucking tell you cunts to fuck off. A bunch of pussy wanker sensitive Sally cunts. All of them. Here's what I want you to do. You got two options. You can either grow a pair of balls and be a man. Or option two is cut off the balls that you already have and go transgender since y'all want to act so feminine all the time. Walk around with your shirts off. I can see your fucking rib cage, cunt. Go to the fucking gym, or at this point, at least take steroids so you don't embarrass yourself. You look like a little boy. Because you are one. Theta Chi is gay. I know it. You know it. They know it, and they are embarrassingly proud of it. They just pretend to like girls sometimes so that they can fit in with society. But if it were entirely up to them, we all know that they would be riding each other's cocks right out there in the front yard. Yeah, so someone on TikTok the other day was talking about elephant walks. If you want the full details, look it up yourself. I don't suggest you look it up yourself, but basically it's part of phrasing at hazing at a fraternity. And you basically walk around in circles or walk around in a line while holding the other guy's cock. Yeah, fraternity brothers are gay. It's not just Theta Chi. They're all fucking gay. But looking at the comments alone, you could tell that they take a joke. One of them said, Adonis, you show no mercy. Someone else said in response to me, homie is solo pushing a whole squad. I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, it's funny because now I regularly run into people that I don't like, and usually they start a fight. Now they just leave me alone, or they try to get on my good side. Because I regularly just fucking bash groups of like 20, 30, 100 people. Like, people literally team up to try to take me down, and then they all fail. But the Theta Chi's are in this comment section, and they're actually laughing at it. Like, I'm making fun at them, and they're laughing with me. Now, a lot of people will look at this video and, how dare he talk dirt on our name? This disrespect will not go unpunished. Let's find him and let's jump him. Let's throw him in the roof. Which, by the way, the Theta Chi's have jumped people before. That's another reason why I don't like them. And then there was this one old fuck. Bro, this guy's not even a college student. This is literally a full-grown man with a white beard. He said to me, Don't come on College Avenue anytime soon. I go on College Avenue every single day. Why is this old head on College Avenue? Okay, I am college age. I live next to College Town. I have reason to be going through College Avenue. Why the fuck is this old head on College Avenue? My first thought is he's probably creeping on sorority girls. So I told him, don't have a heart attack anytime soon, old man. Something that I like about Bullwinkle's, listen, Bullwinkle's is my favorite bar right now. And I think a big reason why Bulls is so enjoyable is because of how strict they are. As not strict in the sense that they follow you around and boss you around, but they don't tolerate bullshit. Listen, since I moved here, I've been hearing horror stories of people going there with their fake IDs and they get arrested on the spot. Now, once again, these are just rumors. I don't know how true any of this is. I can tell you by myself, there are a lot of rumors flying around this city. Personally, I don't believe shit unless it comes from a trusted source or like I've seen it with my own eyes or I have solid proof. I don't believe random fucks on the internet or in person, or I really don't believe anything I hear unless I'm there to see it myself. But for years, people have been telling me that people they know have gone to Bullwinkle's and tried to get in with the fake ID because, you know, they tried doing it at places like the Strip and Recess and it works fine and they get away with it. Apparently, if you do that at Township, they'll break your ID in front of you and send you on your way. If you do it at Bullwinkle's, they will arrest you. Bullwinkle's don't play. And I can tell you from stuff that I've witnessed there myself that they don't play. About a couple weeks ago, I was on the upstairs part of the bar, and there was some guy who was getting kind of drunk. You know, he wasn't being rowdy or anything, but he seemed like he was about to. Like, you know, he was just entering that phase of, okay, I'm a little buzzed to I'm full on drunk and I'm about to do something stupid. Manager comes upstairs, 2 security guys behind him, comes up to him, he says, it's time to go. And the guy's like, why? What did I do? He's like, you're fucking drunk. It's time to go. And yeah, kicked him out like that. This is what I've noticed. They observe the crowd. They notice who is getting the most drunk and who is most likely to start trouble. And then they kick them out before they have a chance to start anything. So when I went to Bulls with Prodigy the other day, there was some guy who threw something up in the air. I think he just threw it up in the air for fun. I don't know what it was. I don't think he hit anybody. Immediately kicked him out. No questions asked. He tossed something up. I'm pretty sure it was like an empty cup. He tossed it up into the air. Security said, get the fuck out. So, the moral of the story is, if you are at Bullwinkle's, you better behave, because they do not fucking tolerate misbehavior. And I like that about them, because a big reason why I stopped going out is not because I necessarily, now listen, some of these clubs I've had personal issues with people that work there, but there are a lot of clubs that I haven't had issues with the staff or management or anyone really, but I don't go because their customer base is a bunch of fucking faggots. Like, they're fucking rude, they're pushing, they're shoving, the lines are fucking long. Fights breaking out left and right over what? Some skank that looks like every other skank in the fucking club. And this is so stupid. Like, imagine you're talking to a girl, and then some other guy comes along and talks to your girl. And now you two start fighting. You win, you knock him out. And she doesn't even want you. And then you go to jail for assault. Or you get one lucky hit in, he hits his head on something and dies. Now you're facing 10 to 20 years in prison. Or you win and you both get kicked out. Or he wins and you both get kicked out. Like, bar fights and club fights, I just look at what's going on and I just assume that all parties involved are fucking idiots. Unless it's something like, say you go to the bar with your girlfriend and some obnoxious asshole out of nowhere slaps her on the ass, and then you punch him in the face to defend your girl, like, that's understandable. But that's not the case in most situations. In most situations, it's just people being idiots. Oh, but he and she did, and he did this, and he said this to me, but technically he struck me first. You're both idiots. You're all fucking idiots. Get the fuck out. You ever go to Potts on a Thursday night and you show up an hour early to get pre-banded, and the line is so fucking long, it's like halfway down College Avenue, and you're standing in line for hours, and you're getting tired, and you still don't get in? Listen, every time I've gone to Bullwinkle's, doesn't matter how packed they are, doesn't matter how long the line is, the line always moves very quickly. There is something about the way they run that place where they run it well, that's all I'm going to say. I haven't had any issues there with anyone, staff, guests, nobody. Like, Bullwinkle's is the only bar that I've been to, and, like, the only people who come up to me are people who genuinely want to talk to me. The people that I know that I run into that we've had issues with before, they see me and they just keep their distance. And I wonder, because I remember the first time this happened, it was over the summer, I was at Bulls, and I saw a guy that he does not like me. And when he sees me out in public, he usually tries to fight me. This time, he kept his distance. And I'm thinking to myself, why is he staying away from me? Why isn't he trying to start a fight? Now I understand why. Because he's in Bullwinkle's. You try to start a fight, you're getting kicked out. So the last one we're going to talk about here that I heard about Bullwinkle's is I heard that the owner of Bullwinkle's is an ex-cop. And that's why they're so strict over there. I don't know how true it is. All I know is I still don't go out that often. But when I do go out, I go to Bullwinkle's, because I go to Bullwinkle's, I get in quickly, I get to the bar quickly, I can get to the bathroom quickly, I don't have to shove anyone, I don't get fucking shoved around the place, I don't have to wait in a long line. The line, if there is a long line, the line moves rather quickly. And it says something about the people that go there as well, because let's take it back to the Theta Chi that I would have never guessed is a Theta Chi because he was acting so proper. Now let's just look at the scenario. Proper gentleman comes up to me. Apparently he's in this frat. Why is he in this frat? I don't know, because he's better than that. Comes up to me and we have a very good conversation. He's very well spoken. He's very well mannered. And now let's look at which bar he's at. I can't tell you the last time I was at a place like Potbelly's or Township and somebody that proper and that polite and that well-spoken came up to me. They're all fucking retarded. If the regular Theta Chi's went to Bullwinkle's, they'd get kicked out. They'd probably get kicked out in the first 10 minutes. Because those cunts act rowdy off of alcohol. Imagine how much worse they're gonna get when they're on fucking alcohol. But I don't have to worry about problems when I go to Bullwinkle's, because, yeah, they do not tolerate that stupidity over there. You know, everyone keeps trying to frame me as some sort of supervillain. They're like, look, Adonis, he's doing this, he's saying these things, he's so bad. Huh, that's interesting, because I've been going to the city's strictest bar for months. I never had a problem once. I'd say that speaks volumes, wouldn't you? So me and Prodigy are just walking around, right? Just having drinks, having some laughs, having a good time. I kid you not, like every 2 minutes, someone was stomping us, asking for a picture, talking to us about our content. Something I did notice is girls gravitate to Prodigy more than they gravitate towards me. And we were talking about this after the bar, and I told Prodigy, I said, I think what it is I'm known to be an angry person and just people see me rage out, and you're like very calm, you don't have beef with anybody and you're just chill. And that's why people go to you, because naturally you're going to go to whoever's the friendlier person. And I think a lot of people judge the book by its cover. I think people see me get upset and they see me acting aggressively, and they assume I'm like that all the time. But if you knew why I was angry, if you knew what these people did to me to make me so angry, I can guarantee you, you would understand why I act the way I do. For example, when that whole situation happened with Nova, a lot of people who didn't know the whole story, all they know was like basically Adonis was having some issue with his apartment complex and raging out all over the fucking internet. Listen, Nova saw that I had an Annabelle doll, right? Let's just quickly summarize this. Nova saw that I had an Annabelle doll, right? They did not like the Annabelle doll. Instead of talking to me about it and saying, hey, we need to keep that in your room because it's scaring the other residents, or instead of going, it's just a doll, I don't like it, I wouldn't put it in my house, but whatever, it's his business, they decided to fucking attack me for it. They threatened me with eviction. They made false reports to the police. They had the police do welfare checks on me. They spread rumors about me. They told people that I was mentally unstable. Made my life a living hell because every single time I walked out of my apartment, there was an issue with somebody. They attack me, but then they claim that I'm the aggressor. So if I can't go anywhere in my own house because I go on the internet and people are fucking texting me threats. So I get off the internet, I leave the house to go to work, and I get fucking attacked. I leave to go to the gym downstairs, to go to the pool, to go to the fucking rooftop, to chill out. Nope, getting harassed there too. And keep in mind, I don't even have the doll with me anymore. And I just go to my apartment, right? And I stay in my apartment and don't leave unless I absolutely have to, because anytime I open my door, it turns into a fucking extraterrestrial nightmare. And then they start sending cops to my door. First, it's the welfare checks. Oh yeah, he's mentally unstable. Let's do a welfare check on him. And then when that didn't do anything, okay, well now we're gonna put in a bunch of false police reports and accuse him of a bunch of crimes that never fucking happened to get cops on his ass all the time. They were initially trying to scare me because they use that fear to control me, because Nova Tally is not an apartment complex, they are a fucking cult. And when fear didn't work, they said, okay, this guy is not gonna be our little slave and do what we want. Fine, let's just keep attacking him then. And then we'll frame him as the bad guy, even though we're the ones doing the instigating. Let's start telling people that, like, oh yeah, Adonis is mental and he has anger issues. I'm over here raging out, reasonably so, because I'm getting attacked left, right, up, down, center. Can't even sit in my own apartment in peace anymore. So now I'm upset. Now I start acting aggressively. Now I start raging out. Now I look like a fucking zombie every time I leave my fucking apartment complex. People see that, and then Nova goes, see? We told you he was mental. We told you he had anger issues. Well, what exactly was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to sit there and take it like a little bitch? Was I supposed to greet you with open arms and a warm smile when you set cops in my fucking house for crimes that I never fucking committed? Like, genuinely, what did you think the outcome was going to be? Like, you antagonize me and then act surprised when I get aggressive towards you about it. That's like sleeping with the football team while trying to be a fucking virgin. I also saw Lindsay Cooperman while I was out. She told me not to talk about her on the podcast. Basically, I ran into her at Bullwinkle's and she asked if we could get a picture together. So the next morning, I told her that I was going to talk about her on the podcast. And I asked her to send a picture she took of us. And she told me that she would only send it if I agreed to not talk about her on the podcast. So I bullied her into sending me the photograph. Ultimatums don't work on me, bitch. I'll talk about whoever the fuck I want to. I remember some time back, there was a reel that I came across of a man screaming, "fuck you," into the camera. So I shared that video probably like 20 or 30 times on my story. Each time I shared it, I tagged someone that I didn't like. And one of those people was a girl named Emily Swisher. So she texts me, she says, "Hey, can you take this down?" And I said, "No." So she asked me why, and I told her, because I don't fucking want to take it down, you cunt. I'll tag whoever I want to, bitch. Fuck you. I will tag you in 100 reels. I will jack off to your fucking Instagram. Fuck you. She blocked me. And that's fine, because I didn't even like her anyway. That's why she got fucking tagged. On other notes, I no longer support Turning Point USA. Yes, Charlie Kirk's company that he founded, now run by his wife Erica Kirk, Turning Point USA. And as much as I respect the guy, I have some shit to say about his family and his brand that I need to get off my chest. First of all, Charlie Kirk is hypocritical because he married a slut. So Charlie Kirk was a Christian male. He believed very strongly in God and Christianity and spoke about it a lot. And something that he often spoke about was women dressing scandalously and revealing because it was ungodly. I remember specifically he said at one of his talks, he was talking about how he would walk around college campuses and he sees these girls walking around in these micro shorts. And he said that it was disgusting, and he said, when you dress like that, guys are not going to like you for who you are. Guys are only going to view you as a piece of meat, as a pound of flesh, as something that they can have fun with for the night. And I agree with him on that. This is something that I talk about a lot too. There's so many girls that dress like whores, and they have no personality. It's almost like they wake up, they make themselves look pretty, and then they just exist. Like, they have no accomplishments, they have no goals. Like, it's like their only purpose in life is to hook up and act like whores and act like idiots. Like, they'll dress as a whore because my body, my choice, then get mad when Sims start staring at them because they're dressed like a whore. Or they'll dress like a hooker and claim it's okay and acceptable. But then when another girl is walking or is dressed like a hooker around her man, suddenly they get defensive and jealous. It's a very hypocritical and flawed way of thinking. Like, you try to debate these girls, you try to talk to them, and it becomes very clear that they don't even know what they're talking about. Something else I'd like to point out, people have been making arguments online stating that girls are not safe walking around like that, especially at nighttime, because they are more prone to attracting unwanted attention or in extreme situations getting raped. And I bring this up because there's a lot of girls around here who whine about how they get sexually assaulted or how they've been raped before. Let me point something out. First of all, and I actually study rape cases. Like, I've done more research than I should have into rape cases and rape victims and the aftermath of it all. When a woman gets raped, it traumatizes her. Some women get so traumatized that they don't want to be around men ever again. And everyone handles their trauma differently. But I will tell you one thing for a fact. A woman who gets raped does not continue to go out to bars and fraternity houses dressed like a hooker. Like, girls love to brag. Like, one thing is talking about a bad experience that you have, but then there are these girls that walk around here talking about how they've been raped. It's like they almost boast about it. Like, the way they talk about it, it's almost as if they're saying, I got raped and I'm happy about it. Like, they talk about it with such a smile on their face while they're wearing a crop top with their tits out and their ass cheeks out, and they're in the middle of a bar full of men lusting all over them. And I look at them and I'm like, that bitch is lying. She did not get raped. And she'll be like, yes, I did. How do you know? And then I'll just ask her a few questions to trip her up and expose her for her lies. Simple way to do this, ask her to tell the story, and then ask her to tell the story again. If she is lying, I can guarantee you there will be key details in that story that will completely change. Because it is easier to tell the truth than to keep track of your lies. And then girls will say, oh, well, I shouldn't be getting raped because of what I wear. Okay, I didn't say that you should. No one deserves to get raped no matter what they're wearing. Rape is wrong in all standards. There is no... Listen, it's one of the most heinous crimes out there. Listen, if you kill someone, there might be an explanation. You know, maybe the guy was attacking you and you shot him in self-defense. If you break into a house, you know, maybe there's an excuse that, you know, you mistook it for your house somehow and walked into the wrong house. If you rape someone, there's no excuse for it. There's no accident. There's no, I misjudged. There's no, rape is morally wrong. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what she was wearing. It doesn't matter what background you're from. Rape is wrong in every which way, shape, or form. There's no loopholes around it. Rape is wrong. But let me put it to you in this perspective. If I'm wearing a fancy watch, and I'm carrying a lot of money on me, and I'm wearing a bunch of fancy gold jewelry and a gold chain, and all these fancy clothes, and then I walk down a dark alley, and I get robbed at gunpoint. Oh, well, that shouldn't happen. Robbing people is wrong, you know. There's no loopholes around it. It's morally wrong. Yes, I agree with you. It is wrong to rob people. It is wrong to point a gun into someone's place. That thief should be working his ass off to make his own money to buy his own gold watch instead of stealing one from you. I agree with you. But you're also a dumbass for walking down a fucking dark alley in the middle of the night while wearing expensive jewelry. And then you go home and then you say, oh, well, that wasn't right. I don't deserve to be robbed. I'm going to go buy another gold watch. And then I'm going to go back down the same alley because it's my right to do so. There's no law stopping me from walking around with expensive jewelry and going back to the same alley. And then you get robbed again. Are you fucking retarded, motherfucker? Well, he wasn't supposed to. Yeah, I get that. But you can't always expect people to do what they're supposed to do. When these girls talk about like, oh, I'm scared of getting raped, I'm scared of getting raped, and then they're walking around at 2 a.m. in fucking booty shorts, it's like, I'm not saying it's right, but you're kind of fucking asking for it. Oh, so you're saying that you condone rape? No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said at all. But you want to be so right all the time. You can't be wrong about everything. And your hate for me is so strong that it is quite literally blinding your judgment. So Kirk regularly spoke about subjects like this. He took a kinder approach to it than I do. But he spoke about these kind of things regularly and why he didn't agree with it. And he more specifically spoke about why it was ungodly. And yeah, like I said, I agree with him with pretty much everything he says on that. Listen, looks are very important. I don't want to be with an ugly bitch. But your personality and your character is equally as important. If you're a whore but you're mean, I don't give a shit. If you're a nice girl but you're a fucking whore and guys are going to be staring at your ass all the time when I'm out with you, and let me put it to you this way. A woman should be making other men jealous that she's with you, not making you jealous because she's giving other guys attention. If you dress like a whore, guys are going to treat you like a whore. If you dress like a slut, the kind of attraction that you're going to get is going to come from guys who only view you as a sex toy and do not care about you as a person. If you want to attract a good man, dress modestly and work on yourself and your character so that you attract like-minded people. That is how you find the love of your life. Not by dressing up like a skank and then hanging around a bunch of drunkards at a fucking nightclub. So Kirk said something similar to this in one of his speeches, but his wife Erica Kirk was a fucking hoe. She won Miss Arizona. This was years ago. It was before they were even married. But I'm looking at a picture right now on my phone of Erica Kirk in a bikini with her tits out, with the Arizona, I don't know what sleeve, I don't know what you want to call it, wrapped around her body. Erica Kirk was a slut. She dressed like a slut. She's got her fucking tits out. What I'm looking at right here, and I'll even upload this to my Instagram page later today, what I'm looking at right here is an example of a woman of what Charlie Kirk told us to avoid. He specifically told women in his speeches not to dress like this. He specifically told us men not to seek this in a woman. And yet this is what he married. That's very hypocritical. Turning Point USA has changed a lot since the passing of Charlie Kirk. Now, I don't know much about Turning Point. Like, I always associated Turning Point with Charlie because it's his company. And I follow Charlie and I listen to his podcast and I watch his interviews because I like Charlie. I liked what he had to say. There's a lot that I like about him. Yeah, he is hypocritical for marrying a slut while telling us to avoid sluts. But, not everyone is perfect. And it's his life, his choice. If he wants to marry a slut, that's his choice. However, it is extremely hypocritical for him to then talk against that when he's literally married and has kids with that. Everyone's been talking on the internet about how Erica Kirk did not seem very sad about her husband's passing. And everyone grieves differently. Like I said earlier in the episode, everyone handles their trauma differently. If someone close to me died, I wouldn't be throwing fucking celebrations. Like, 2 days after his death, she's out in the public. She's taking over Turning Point USA rather quickly. It's almost like she took zero time whatsoever to grieve for her husband's murder. Something is off about Erica Kirk, and let me tell you something. Once a hoe, always a hoe. There are too many men who simp over the wrong girl, and they find a girl that they really like, and they try to change her. They think, oh, I can fix her. No, the fuck you can't. Guys who marry girls who spent their 20s and 30s hoeing around are the same guys who their wife later cheats on them after they started a whole family, and he's the last person to find out. Like, his wife's been cheating on him, his wife's into prostitution now, and everyone fucking knows this but him. And then when he finds out, he doesn't even care anymore because he loves her so much, and in his eyes, she's the most perfect thing in the whole fucking universe. And Turning Point USA has become a cult, basically. I didn't have any issues with them before Kirk's passing, but after Kirk's passing, they're definitely going through some changes. One thing I've noticed is that they seem to only be focused on doing college tours and talking to college students and focusing on colleges, really. When Charlie Kirk openly said on a regular basis that college is a scam, which is another thing that I agreed with him on. And yes, he did do a lot of his debates on campuses, but he also did a lot of debates and gave speeches off of campuses. Turning Point USA seems to only be focused on campuses. I actually tried to join Turning Point USA, so about a month or so, I saw an ad saying that they were looking for new recruits, and they said visit our website to learn how to join Turning Point. So I said, okay, yeah, I'll join, learn some more about Charlie Kirk, carry on his legacy. Why would I want to join? So I tried to join, never heard back from them. The reason why they don't want me to join is because I'm not a college student. They only want college students to join. And when you put in your application, they ask for your zip code. So when they saw where I lived, they recommended that I become a student at Florida State. and join because Florida State has their own Turning Point chapter. I'm like, so hang on a second. Your founder was against college, and now you're telling me to go apply for college and join college to join your little cult. What the fuck? Is this a fucking political movement or a fucking fraternity? What the fuck is this? Now Turning Point is asking for donations left, right, and center. Like, you would think they were going out of business or something. Like, I go to their websites and here, buy these shirts, buy these books, and then it's donate, donate, donate. Every fucking day I see donations. Donate now, donate now. And then they offer something, donate now, donate an offer of any amount, and you'll get a free Charlie Kirk wristband and a free Charlie Kirk book that he wrote. I'm like, hey, I want to read that book. Okay, let me go make a donation. Personally, I don't think they need donations. Y'all are funded by the fucking schools. Y'all have your own chapters throughout the country. Y'all got fucking J.D. Vance and Trump and all these billionaires helping you out. You do not need donations. But I was like, whatever. You said a gift of any amount? Sure, I'll put in $2 and get a free book. I never got a book because the minimum is $25 or more. I'm like looking at the website. I'm like, so y'all purposely misled us with your advertisement. I feel like I'm being fucking scammed here. I read an article about a guy who also tried to join Turning Point USA. This guy goes to a college and he tried to join his chapter. And they would not let him because he openly supported Nick Fuentes and Charlie Kirk both. I am also someone who supports Nick Fuentes and Charlie Kirk both. I am also aware of the fact that Charlie Kirk and Nick Fuentes had a rivalry because they did not agree on Israel. Turning Point USA told the student that he cannot join because Nick Fuentes promotes hate speech, and they don't promote hate speech. So now Turning Point is fucking censoring shit. Turning Point USA is they're basically acting like liberals, but they're a conservative movement. They're liberal conservatives. Fucking complaining about everything, being extremely hypocritical, not saying what they actually fucking mean. Probably because they're now run by a woman who was Miss Arizona, aka a fucking slut. Erica Kirk is a fucking whore. And Charlie Kirk has a famous quote, I hope I'm saying this right, but he said something to the effect of, hate speech is free speech. This is another statement by Charlie Kirk that I agreed with. Another reason why I followed him, and something that I say myself. Everyone tries to censor hate speech. You get your videos taken down because of hate speech. People try to sue you over hate speech. But we have the freedom of speech in this country. There is a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate. Censorship is an issue because they choose what they erase. And I would argue that hate speech is not even a thing. It's just another imaginary problem created by the liberals so that they can have something to bitch about. Because who's to say what hate speech is? Who's to say what's not hate speech? Who's to say that, if I don't like something, if I say I hate Disney movies, does that mean that I'm now giving a hate speech on Disney? If I say I hate Democrats, they'll call it hate speech. But if a Democrat says, I hate Republicans, that seems to be okay. If you want to ask me for my opinion, there is no hate speech. Because hate speech is an imaginary problem created by liberals who want shit to bitch about because they have nothing better going for them in their fucking lives. But if you want to pretend for a minute that hate speech does exist, you know what is hate speech? Liberals dressing up as Charlie Kirk after he got assassinated. Liberals talking about how Charlie Kirk deserved to die, that his kids now deserve to grow up without a father. Liberals constantly hating on Trump, and they can't even tell you why they hate Trump. That is what I would consider hate speech. What I would consider hate speech is liberals getting you fired from your job because a man walks into work and calls himself a woman and demands that you call him a her, and you refuse to do that because you have common fucking sense and you can see that quote unquote her is actually a man, and then you get fired for it because you won't play into their fantasies. That's my idea of hate speech. Nick Fuentes making jokes about black people and saying Hail Hitler because it offends you. That ain't fucking hate speech. That's freedom of speech. We live in America, cunt. Grow a pair of balls. So now TPUSA is censoring everything. They're only focused on colleges. They are quite literally, it's almost like Charlie Kirk died, and then Erica Kirk took over the company, and they basically said, okay, we're gonna carry on Charlie Kirk's legacy. Or at least that's what we're gonna say. Because everything this man said, we're gonna do the exact opposite. Charlie Kirk talked against sluts. Erica Kirk is a slut. Charlie Kirk talked against colleges. Now we're only gonna focus on colleges. Charlie Kirk said hate speech is free speech. Now they're saying we're not gonna let you in because you support hate speech. There's been a lot of speculation about whether or not Tyler Robinson really did kill Charlie Kirk. This is what I will have to say about it. There is something that smells fishy about it. It was a little too convenient. They caught the guy too soon. He lived far away. The texts are way too professional. Like, if you read the text that was leaked by the FBI, those sound like cops talking because it's too professional. What did I say earlier about undercover cops always blowing their cover because they act too professionally? So professional to the point where they don't even sound human anymore. Did Tyler Robinson kill Charlie Kirk? I don't know. Who killed Charlie Kirk? I don't know. But there is something very fishy about this entire situation, and there is somebody trying to cover up something. That much is obvious. And I have already unfollowed Turning Point USA on Instagram because I do not like what I am saying. This is not the same Turning Point USA I was following back when Charlie Kirk ran the company. They are hypocritical cunts, and they say that they are carrying on Kirk's legacy, but they are in fact demolishing it because they are doing the opposite of what this man stood for. They may as well walk into the highway with a neon sign held over their heads that says, "Do as I say, not as I do," because that is exactly what they are doing right now. That's exactly what they're doing right now. Whatever the fuck is going on over there, I want no part of it. Fuck Turning Point. This is no longer Kirk's company. It's Erica's fucking company. And Erica is a whore and a slut. And I honestly don't think she gives a single shit about her husband's passing. One thing is handling trauma differently than others. Another thing is this blonde cunt smiling in front of 1,000 cameras 2 days after the guy died. So, that's all I gotta say about Turning Point USA. Here's some final notes. Number one, we're in the middle of EDC weekend. I did not go to EDC Orlando. I went to EDC back a couple years ago while I had genuinely had a fun time. Raves are a fucking clown show. First of all, the girls are sluttier than ever, and yet somehow more complicated than regular city girls. Think of it as a video game, okay? You got think of talking to girls, getting with girls, finding a girlfriend, whatever, as a video game. You know, you got girls that try to turn it into a game, that play hard to get. You have girls that flat out don't like you. You have girls that do like you, but they complicate things. Think of rave girls as the final boss. You'll have girls dressed with literally nothing else other than a thong and little nipple pads and dancing with you and hanging out with you and talking to you. And then, oh, I'm having a house party later. You want to come? Yeah, sure. Let's go to the house party. Y'all hang out. Y'all fucking sleep together. And then when you try to get her contact information, I have a boyfriend. Bitch, what? Let me tell you something right now. No girlfriend of mine is gonna take off all her clothes, put on a thong and nipple pads, and then go out in public. That should be public fucking indecency. What the fuck? Like, bitch, do you not own any clothes? Why are you dressed like this? You're not even dressed at all. And for some reason, everyone, and I mean everyone at these raves is on fucking drugs. Oh, you don't need alcohol to have a good time. You know what's a good substitute for that? Ketamine! When I went to EDC a couple years back, I saw the Orlando police walking around in the festival while people are doing drugs and snorting shit up their noses right in front of them, and the cops just don't give a shit. I'm like, okay, so why the fuck are you here then? Like, genuinely, why the fuck are you here? All the rave girls have this saying, PLUR stands for peace, love, unity, and respect. Most of the rave girls that I talked to were very rude to me and were the complete opposite of that. There's this one girl on Instagram, her name is Kamski. We're both from Jacksonville, she still lives there. We met through a mutual friend a couple years back. I don't talk to her now because she's a cunt. She's quite rude, actually. Okay, it looks like she's changed her name. I'm looking it up now. It's Shroomy Sky or Cam Sky. This was one of the girls who was preaching about PLUR at the raves, but then was a total fucking cunt. And I'll give you a perfect example of that. So at the time, I was running a page called Go to the Fucking Club. I used to be into the party scene a lot and had a social media page going for it with a large following. I noticed that Cam had a lot of followers and she was really popular, and I texted her one day. I'm like, hey, we should do a collab or something, or, you know, like, let me feature you on my page. It'll help you get more followers. And she says, I have more followers than you. What the fuck do I need you for? It's funny because I'm looking at her social media page right now, and literally pinned to the top of her profile is a picture of her in a thong and nipple pads. And she also used to whine about guys looking at her because they were perverts. Well, no shit, you don't even got your tits covered. Of course guys are gonna look at you. What's wrong with you? And then, like, she literally talked down to me and other people like she was better than us because she has a large following on social media while preaching about peace, love, unity, and respect. Alright, this girl's a fucking clown. So I cut her off. I don't talk to her anymore. And I'm looking at her highlights right here. She's got a little highlight section. It's called Rave Safety. And she's talking about how to safely do drugs at the raves. Wow. She's gotten worse. And it's not just the girls that are whores at these raves. The guys are fucking whores too. Like, I walk into raves and I see these guys walking around fucking shirtless, or they got like, it's shirtless with a vest on. They're wearing these tight Speedo looking ass shorts. They're wearing fucking yoga shorts. They're walking around with fucking jewels in their hair. I'm like, are you fucking gay? What the fuck is this? And then I see people walking around with their rainbow flags. I'm like, oh my god, it's a fucking pride festival. This is not what I signed up for. I spent $500 on this trip to go to a fucking pride festival. And the final note about raves is not just the money. So when I went to EDC, my ticket was about $300. I bought the ticket, and now it was time to find a hotel. Met up with a friend who was renting out an Airbnb and splitting the cost between him and a bunch of other people. It was about $100 to $200. And then it was getting there. So one of Cam's friends, her name is Jaden Shea. She's also a rave influencer and a clown. She was driving down there and she offered to give anyone a ride who was also driving down there from Jacksonville. And I hit her up and I'm like, hey, I could use a ride. Can I drive down with you? She's like, yeah, that's fine. She said, just pay me for the gas money. And I said, yeah, that's reasonable. I texted her my address, agreed to pay her a certain amount of money for gas, and we had a time set up and everything. Later on down the line, another friend of hers was also going to be hitching a ride with us down there as well. I said, okay, that's cool. The day before we were supposed to leave, the other guy that was supposed to go with us texted me that Jaden can't pick me up because my house is too far away from her house. So I either need to find another ride there or I need to basically go to her house. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not what we discussed. So I texted Jaden, I'm like, hey, so the guy that you're giving a ride to as well is texting me all this stuff. You didn't consult me about any of this. He's texting me something that's completely different from our original plan. And this guy's kind of being an asshole towards me. He's coming at me very aggressively. So I'm just like, listen, I don't know this guy. I do know Jaden. I'm just going to talk to her and see what she says. She texts me back shortly and abruptly, oh, just talk to him, do whatever he says. Huh? We agreed that you were going to pick me up and that we were going to go down there together and I was going to pay you gas money, right? And after everything was set in stone, I sent you my address. You had all fucking week to look it up and see how far it was from your house, and you had all fucking week to tell me if it was too far or whatever. If you would have told me in advance that, like, hey, this is too far, I'm going to need you to come to my place instead, I would have been like, okay, yeah, that's fine. But you waited until the night before we're supposed to leave to tell me, hey, I'm completely changing the plan. Not only that, but you couldn't tell me yourself. You had to go send a stranger to do it for you. I'm like, oh, this girl is cunt level final boss. And guess what? She's one of the girls talking about plur and love your enemies and I'm such a good person. Shut the fuck up, bitch. You're a horrible fucking human being. Even the guy, listen, once everything was set in stone, so I told the guy, I'm like, listen, I don't know what the fuck is going on. She's being a bitch or being a bitch. I'm like, I'm going to take myself down there. I'll meet you guys down there. He apologized for it. He apologized for the way that he spoke to me. And he said, I know this is fucked up. He's like, I know what she's doing was fucked up. He's like, I know what I did is fucked up. I'm sorry. Because a man can admit when he's wrong. A man can man up and own up to his mistakes. It's called being a fucking man. A woman cannot because a woman lacks the emotional immaturity and women are selfish and women think they're perfect, but they're actually fucking demons. They are demonic conduits walking this earth straight from hell, trying to distract great men from doing great things. And society tries to convince us that a man needs a woman by his side to help him accomplish his shit. They try and convince us that women mature faster than men do. Women don't mature ever, at all. Society tries to convince us, happy wife, happy life. That is bullshit because women are never fucking happy. You can give them a fucking castle and they'll still complain about shit. I haven't been to a rave in quite a few years now because they are such fucking clown shows. Now listen, you go to a rave and it's nice. Fancy lasers, great music. People are rude, girls are sluts, girls are annoying, the guys are also sluts. Everyone says plur but do the complete opposite. Everyone is high off drugs, running from the cops, and the cops don't even give a shit, so why are they even there? And it's overpriced and expensive. Because let me tell you something right now, it's not just the cost of the ticket. It doesn't have to be EDC, it could be Forbidden Kingdom, it could be any one of these. It is not only the expensive ass ticket. You need a place to stay. You need food. A place to stay is easily another $200 to $300. Food at the rave is more expensive. I remember spending $20 on a slice of pizza. One singular slice of pizza. Raves are for fancy folk. Raves were designed for rich people. But you know who actually goes to raves? Losers and fucking brokies. My last subject on here is the US military. It is a fucking cult. When I was 19, I allowed my family to talk me into joining the military. I was young and still figuring out my own path in life. I think this was even before I started the podcast. And one mistake that I made is I allowed other people to tell me what was best for me instead of deciding for myself what I really wanted to do and what was best for me. I want to mention something before I forget. So Stranger Things 5 is coming out later this month. And so I started rewatching Stranger Things, which I haven't done in years. It's bringing back a lot of memories from my childhood, rewatching season 1. But in about the second or third episode, after Barb dies and Nancy doesn't know that Barb is dead, she comes home. So basically, Nancy lies to her parents and says that she's going to Barb's house to go study. She actually went to a different house to go hook up with her boyfriend and shows up after curfew. So her mom approaches her kind of aggressively, very upset. Where were you? I told you to be back by 10 p.m. and you're back late. And Nancy makes up some lie about how they went out for food and she lost track of time and she acts kind of annoyed and kind of gets upset to trying to turn her mom away, tries to go upstairs. And then her mom goes, "Nancy, whatever's going on, you can talk to me." Honestly, I fucking hate Nancy and Mike Wheeler's mom, but at the same time, I can relate to it because this has happened to me before where people in my own family fucking antagonize me and harshly judge me over shit that I do. They don't even know what's going on with me, but then they start passing judgment. And then they hit you with, "You can talk to me. I'm your friend. I'm here to help." You ain't my friend. You're a fucking antagonist. Fuck off. Back to the military. So I let my family talk me into how you should join the military and learn how to become a man and build something for your future. So I went and applied for the Marines. They made me take this test. They gave me a few minutes to solve these math problems and algebra problems and a bunch of other shit that as I was taking the test, I was thinking to myself, what the fuck does this have to do with the military? They basically said, because I didn't pass the test, they basically said that I was retarded and that I couldn't join and that I needed to either study and come back or just find another route to go with life. I would later realize that that was my life's biggest fucking blessing. So when I was in high school, there was a girl that lived across the street from me. And she had this on-again and off-again friendship with me and my friend group. She caused a lot of drama and then played the victim card. She was one of those girlies that was always posting posting cute selfies on Snapchat and TikTok and jumping from guy to guy. I mean, she was your stereotypical modern day hoe. When I grew up and moved out of my neighborhood, I didn't talk to her, but I have friends that still talk to her and they'll occasionally update me with what's going on. Apparently, she got in her head that she wants to be in the military for some reason. So she found some nerdy guy. I mean, they've shown me pictures of this guy, and he's this red-headed ginger cunt with glasses. Not a single muscle in his body. Not even a fucking spine to hold his head up. He's somehow gone into the military. And then this girl started dating him because she wanted to join the military. And my friends pointed out that, it seems that she's only using him to get into the military. And I said, of course she is. Because as long as we've known her, she's only dated guys for what they have instead of for who they are. She literally uses them to get what she wants, and then she dumps them. She's been doing this since she was 16. A couple months went by. My friend tells me, oh, guess what? She got into the military. I'm like, that retarded bitch got into the military? And he starts telling me about how he'll see videos of her on Snapchat. And she posts everything on Snapchat about their training, about them on a fucking boat. And he's just sitting there, him and I are just sitting back and we're like, shouldn't she be fucking working instead of on her phone all the time? Isn't the whole point about being in a military about discipline? I wonder if maybe they're taking it easy on her because she's a girl. because, women are the lesser gender and men are stronger, therefore they need stronger discipline. But oh wait, also women are equal to men, so we are now allowing these emotional cutbacks into our military. And I noticed something, I'm like, I am so glad that I did not join the military, because the military is a fucking cult. Listen, the military is the one job where once they agree to let you in, you sign a contract, and sure, they pay you. But if you decide that you no longer want to do it anymore, if you decide to quit before your term is up, listen, you can get a job at a grocery store, restaurant, the fucking strip club. You decide you want to quit, you can go home, you never have to enter that place of business again. You quit the military before your term is up, and you go to fucking jail. For what crime? The crime of deciding this fit is not for me. I see shit all the time, and I'm not gonna say in movies because movies are mostly fictional, but I'm basing this more so off of real life shit that I've read about or people that I've spoken to in real life who have actually been in the military. They put you on strict diets, they put you on workout routines, they train you how to fight. One of you steps out of line. For example, let's say Kyle steps out of line. He sneaks some food into his Foot Locker because they literally fucking starve you. Well, as punishment, the entire military base is gonna do 400 push-ups, and on top of the 400 push-ups, Kyle over here now has to do 200 sit-ups. Why the fuck are we being punished for Kyle's actions? Oh, well, because we are... No. We are each individual people. We each operate differently. We cannot control each other. If Kyle did something that he's not supposed to do, that has nothing to do with me. Oh, but you're both in the same military base. Okay, so let me ask you something. If I'm at work and my employee gets fired for being rude to a customer, does that mean that I should also get fired too for his or her actions? Because, I'm his coworker, I work for the same company, so we're one and the same. What kind of bullshit is that? The exact same reason why I don't like fucking fraternities. Bro, let me tell you something. A few years back, this Indian fuck, Sidhu, came to my house and assaulted me with 5 other dudes in the back of his car. Because I said something that I don't like. I don't even remember what it was that pissed him off. But he went out of his way to figure out where I live. Then showed up and assaulted me. Cops didn't give a shit. Months went by. Some guy came up to me. He was like, hey, Sidhu's in my frat. We found out what he did. We're very sorry. Thanks, I appreciate the apology, but you didn't do anything. Yes, well, I know, but, he's in a fraternity, and as fraternity brothers, we represent us. Listen, bitch, I didn't even know Sidhu was in a fraternity until months after when he went viral for what he did. The guy was a nice guy, I'll give him that. But was he there? I understand that you're in the same fraternity as this guy. Did you even know that he beat me up before that video went viral? Did you get in the car with his friends and drive down to my house to come attack me? Did you even know who I was or that I even existed before any of this? No, you didn't. So you do not need to apologize because it is not your fault. And this ideology that he represents all of us as a fraternity is literally cultish behavior. It's a fucking cult. Same with the military. The military is just an upgraded cult. You basically sign away a year or years of your life for them to fucking torment you. These cunts literally convince you that, hey, we're gonna starve you, we're gonna torture you with unreasonable amount of workouts, like, oh, today we're doing 800 push-ups. Kyle messed up on his form, so now we're doing 1,000 push-ups. This is literally fucking torture. This is fucking torture. And you couldn't solve an algebra problem. I don't know what the fuck that has to do with aiming a fucking gun at the enemy, but now you're too retarded to join the fucking military. Here's a brunette skank who posts Snapchat memes all day and dresses like a slut while she has a ginger cunt boyfriend. Yeah, we'll let her in, that's fine. She can be on her phone all day and not do shit while you're doing 400 push-ups because Private Kyle ate too many jelly donuts. Oh, why is she being treated differently? Well, because she's a girl, you know? Girls are not the same to men. But also girls are equal to men. That's why we now let them into the military. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, bro, if China attacks America, we're fucked. Because the military's fucking retarded. Everyone's fucking retarded these days. The military's fucking retarded. Like, I just look at this, I'm like, this is a fucking clown show. Oh, we're gonna give you the skills you need to build a better life. No, thank you. I'll figure that out on my own. Nope, I'm good. There's this one guy who lived in my neighborhood back when I was in high school. Don't get me wrong, he's a nice guy. I haven't spoken to him in a while, but if I ran into him, I would willingly have a conversation with him. He's a great guy. He grew up in the military, went to the military for decades, and then retired in his 40s. And he was telling me about the benefits. He's like, you get to travel the world, and, they pay for your housing. Oh, but in return, you have to be their little bitch. Those are my words, obviously, not his. That's great that he had a great experience with the military and whatnot. But there is one major flaw about him that I've noticed. He lets his wife push him around. His wife is basically the man of the household. She yells at him, she treats him unfairly, she pushes him around, and he just takes it. He regularly says the saying, happy wife, happy life. And his wife is never happy. And listen, that's his life. It's really not my business. But the reason why I bring this up is because that's not the life I want. The next time someone's giving you advice, I want you to look at that person, look at their life. It could be your best friend. If you don't want the life that they live, then you should not be taking their advice. Andrew Tate's online school that I am a part of, that will actually give you actual life lessons that you can use. One of our professors, his name is Professor Luke, he gives us daily invoices about advice for the day. And something he said was about, and this is where I personally disagree with him, he was talking about taking advice from other people. Luke was basically talking about consequences of your actions. For example, if you decide that you want to drop school, he's like, you need to consider the consequences. Maybe your parents really want you to go to school, and you're going to drop out of school because you feel that's what's best for you, and your parents are going to be upset. Is this something that they can get over, though, eventually? Yes, okay, then you need to go ahead and do what's best for you. Well, if it's something more extreme, for example, if your parents are going to disown you if you drop out of school, then maybe you shouldn't drop out of school. Listen, bitch, my family got on my nerves trying to tell me what to do with my life, and I cut off all of them. Motherfucker. Luke's over here talking about how, consider the consequences of your actions, you don't want your parents to disown you. Motherfucker, I already disowned my parents. I disowned the majority of my fucking family. You mean you're gonna disown me because something I decide to do with my life? Fuck no, I'm gonna disown you before you even have a chance to disown me. Fuck that. Personally, I don't take advice from anyone other than myself. So TRW is pretty awesome. It makes more sense, honestly, to pay them a small amount of money every month so that you can have endless knowledge on how to better your life, how to become a better person, a better man, how to make money with tools on the internet. But no, society decides to convince you that Andrew Tate is somehow a bad person, and you instead need to get thousands of dollars into debt and go to a cultish university like Florida State. If you're part of the real world, you're already in the 1% of society that actually makes it in life. That being said, there are still retards. Most recently, this guy named James Balbuena, he is a student in the real world, and he edits videos. I am currently looking for someone to edit my videos because the time that I spend making content for my Instagram page and editing content is time taken away from making podcasts. Additionally, I actually hate editing, believe it or not. So I texted him, how much do you charge for editing? And I told him I'm also a TRW student. And he said how much I charge, it depends a lot. Why the question? So I told him I run a podcast, and I told him this. Have you ever seen a video compilation of Tate or someone similar saying the wildest things? I was thinking of making a similar edit of myself, but to do that would require going through several hours of my content, which is time I could use to make new podcasts. This guy goes, you are not Tate, my friend, simply as. Alright, neither the fuck are you. The fuck? So I said, I didn't say I was. I'm simply looking to hire an editor, not trying to start an ego competition. You are not Tate either, so cool your jets. You will not get any clientele with an inflated ego like that. I will not be hiring you, sir. Good day to you. And then I blocked him. So if anyone listening is trying to start a business or is just trying to make some money, you can't be a douchebag to potential customers like that guy was. Oh, you are not Tate, my friend. I didn't say I was. I'm not even trying to be Tate. I'm trying to be Adonis. Like, bitch, you need my money. You need money, right? So you're offering something of service. I need your service. So I'm offering you my money. You could have taken my money, but no, instead you want to have an ego competition. This fucking guy, bitch, you need my money. Why are you trying to insult me? You don't want to edit my videos, that's fine. I'll just keep editing myself like I have been since I fucking started. The whole purpose of the real world is that you're basically there to learn. You're there to learn new skills, to improve your life. No one's forcing you to do anything. No one's forcing you to join. Andrew Tate's school is not a cult. There's no fraternities you have to join. There's none of that, oh, what you do in your personal time represents us all as a whole. There's none of that bullshit. There's none of that nonsense. You pay a fee every month. As long as you pay that fee, you get access to this knowledge and these courses. You can take these lessons. Whether or not you use it to improve your life, that is up to you. And Tate does not want us all paying him so that we can all act like him. No, he wants us to be our own persons and find our own path in life. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for listening. This is the Adonis Podcast. Final note, I just added New York to list of cities that I will never visit. Top of my list is LA, California. But this guy basically just said that he's an immigrant and wants the city run by immigrants, which is exclusively illegal. And the Democrats all voted for him, and now he's asking them to donate money. Said that the government should be involved in every aspect of your life. I mean, does he have a contingency plan for Trump? Because I feel like it's a given Trump is gonna come after this guy. The liberals will quite literally, if Adolf Hitler rose from the dead, the liberals will quite literally elect Adolf Hitler as their president. And anyone who opposed them, they would then call them a Nazi.